I wrote this piece as a way to introduce my students to fingerstyle guitar playing. My name's Aaron. I've been teaching guitar for about 17 years. I studied music at the Institute of Contemporary Music Performance in London, and now I run my own one-to-one guitar teaching business right here in Bath in the UK. By the end of this video, you're going to have a base level understanding of fingerstyle guitar playing, a really basic level. So this is for people really who haven't done fingerstyle before, mostly, but if you've only been using like 2 fingers or 3 fingers, we are going to be introducing this finger here too, the ring finger. So you're going to be using the thumb, 1, 2 and 3, so 4 digits are going to get used, so you might be able to extend your playing that way. And before I begin, all the tabs and backing tracks for this are over on Patreon, so check the link in the description if you want to get hold of those. The first component of this piece is to learn the picking pattern with the picking hand. For most of you, this will be your right hand. And you're simply going to allocate your thumb to the low E string, your first finger to the open G string, your second finger to the open B string, and your third finger to the open high E string. And you just play those sequentially over and over again. So it's E, G, B, high E, E, G, B, high E. If you need to pause the video at this point and practice that pattern over and over again until you've got it, then please do that, because that's pivotal to being able to make this piece sound smooth. The next component of this piece is learning the bass line. The bass line is just an E minor scale played on the low E string. So let's first of all learn an E minor scale on the low E string, and our fretting hand first finger is the one we're going to be using for this entire scale, just to keep things simple and consistent. I have seen people try to change fingers and then they'll be using different fingers each time they play the scale, and for beginners that doesn't really work so well just in those initial stages. So an E minor scale on the low E string is as follows: 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Make sure you're keeping your thumb and first finger approximately in line as you go up the neck, okay? But once you've learned that bass line, all you have to do is know that every single note of the scale gets played twice within the context of the piece. So the bass line in the piece actually goes 0, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, etc, etc. Every bass note gets played twice, and then all of the remaining open strings, the G, B and high E with the other 3 fingers, get played in between. So listen to that bass line as I play the piece in full. 0, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, and I'll speed up a bit. 7, 7, 8, 8, 10, 10, 12. Okay. Pretty nice, eh? It might take you a little bit of time to get used to that right hand pattern. So if you're finding that very cumbersome, then that's totally normal, because if you haven't really done this before, them fingers are going to be, I can't do it. But you can. I promise that you can. And people do. So what else can you do with this once you've learned this piece? Well, the first thing is, just as a general rule in music, whenever we learn scales, here we've learned an E minor scale, so we want to learn to descend the E minor scale as well. So we want to learn to be going 10, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, 0. And play each of those twice, descending through the piece. 12, 12, 10, 10, 8, 8, 7, 7, etc, etc. That works very, very nicely. So do an ascending version of the piece and then a descending version of the piece. Another thing that you can do is you can take all of the notes of the low E string and you can move them to the high E string. Now what this is going to do is you're not going to have a moving bass line anymore, you're going to have a moving melody over a static bass line. So check this out. So The right hand pattern is the same, so the first two are going to be identical. O, O, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 8, 8, 10. Nice little vibrato there if you want to. It's another way you can elaborate on this piece. So sometimes it's not just about darting off and learning new pieces left, right and centre. It's actually about taking something you already know and developing it. What can I do with this? What happens if we move the bass line to the A string? Does it sound any good? You know, experiment. Try different bass lines on the low E, A and D strings if you want to, if you're looking to expand on this idea. And then finally, the last but slightly more difficult idea is to move the bass line and the melody at the same time. So you've got basically the two E strings are playing an E minor scale together. If I play that in isolation, all right, but then you want to do it with the open strings in between. Now, for me, it's comfortable for me to use the fretting hand second and third fingers there. Second finger being on the two, on the low E string, and the third finger being on the high E string. So. And you can see where that's going. So that is just a way to get creative with fingerstyle guitar playing, hopefully for kind of advanced beginners who've never touched on it before. And of course, once again, the tracks and the tabs are going to be over on Patreon, so check out the link in the description. And if you're looking to expand a little further in your fingerstyle guitar playing, then check out the video which is on your screen